Oh, this is great. I'm going to play this super cut of Dems at the Climate Forum. I think it was a CNN town hall. They basically said ban everything, etc. So I'm going to play it, and I'll comment. I don't think I'll comment during it, so we'll see we'll see what they say, and I'll see what the Breitbart.com has to say about Bernie Sanders floating his idea about global population.
Would you support changing the dietary guidelines?
Yes.
The food pyramid. What people
Yes. Yes.
Really? Changing the dietary climate? How are you going to force people to do that? This is a free country. Yeah, ding dong.
reduce red meat specifically?
Yes, I would.
Do you ban plastic straws?
I think we should.
Why? Where's your evidence that that's less recyclable than paper straws?
Yes.
So would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
Why? We are, as a country, the United States, energy independent, essentially, from the rest of the world. Why would we do that?
Just today, the Trump administration announced plans to overturn requirements on energy-saving light bulbs. Would you reinstate those requirements as president?
If you can get electricity from a light bulb that utilizes 1/10 of the power that an old incandescent light bulb used, of course you're going to do that.
I prefer incandescent light bulbs because they were better. But apparently, this ding-dong here, I think he's got 3 homes. And so, what do you think?
We have to take combustion engine vehicles off the road.
Really? How are you going to do that? How? Oh, that's right. Mandatory forced buybacks? Like guns?
As rapidly as we can.
Educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact.
Oh, this is a good one. Oh, yeah.
Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. I think especially in poor countries around the world where women do not necessarily want to have large numbers of babies.
Really? So you're going to use your global power as president to go to other countries and tell them what to do? Yeah, that's worked swimmingly over the last 100 years or so. Good God.
And where they can have the opportunity through birth control to control the number of kids they have, something I very, very strongly support.
So now you're going to force birth control on people. Oh boy. Nice.
Talk about offshore drilling for oil. Would you ban it?
Yes. Would you ban?
Notice how every Democratic far leftist, would you ban offshore drilling? Yep. No one else will. Keep that in mind.
And offshore drilling. Absolutely.
See? Ask yourself this. What is the difference between this chucklehead right here and the previous chuckleheads? They all believe the same damn thing. And there's nothing different from the rest of these guys. They're all talking on the same channel.
Yes. We will transition off of fossil fuel.
Really? How would you do that? 5 years? 10 years? Like the Green New Deal?
Natural gas, coal, oil.
What about the export of fossil fuels from the United States? Would you ban that?
Absolutely, we must get to that point.
Oh, really? So what are you going to do with corporations like Mobil, Exxon, Chevron, etc.? You're going to tell them, sorry, you're out of business. We're going to ban drilling of oil and selling it on the global market? How insane. You want to destroy an economy? This is how you destroy an economy.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
I'm in favor.
Really, banning fracking. You know why we are energy independent for the most part? Because of fracking.
Of a carbon-free America.
In my administration, we're not going to build any new nuclear power plant.
Really? Guess what's the most green and clean energy source out there right now? Yeah. Nuclear power, because it continually runs if it's done properly. Good God, man.
We set out the rules for what kind of plant, coal burning plants. No one's going to build another coal burning. We've got to shut the ones down we have.
We're going to end factory farming because...
Really? Let's end factory farming to decrease the food in the United States. Yeah, that makes sense, you old crazy socialist.
Because that is a danger to the environment and to climate change. There will be a transition. There will be a transition and there will be some pain there.
Oh my God. These people are freaking nuts. And so this is just the article that is kind of basically stated. It says, most incredible, CNN asked most candidates if they support a carbon-free America, and every candidate answered in the affirmative. How America can become carbon-free as every living thing on Earth contains carbon was never discussed or explained. Very good. Let's go to Breitbart. This is from Hannah Blau. It says, Bernie Sanders floats global population control at CNN Climate Town Hall. Population control works real well, especially when you're the one who's controlling who gets to live and who doesn't get born. Doesn't it now, Bernie Sanders? It says Senator Bernie Sanders told CNN's Climate Change Town Hall attendees Wednesday night that he's willing to talk about population control, suggesting that abortion is key to addressing the climate crisis. Holy hell. This guy's a freaking demon. It says, human population growth has more than doubled in the last 50 years, mostly in China. An attendee told Sanders, adding that the planet cannot sustain such growth. That's an opinion. I realize this is a poisonous topic for politicians, but it's crucial to face. Empowering women, that's great. Let's start empowering people because that's worked so well in the past. And educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact, the attendee continued. Would you be courageous enough to discuss the issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe, she asked. Notice how they went from global cooling, to global warming, climate change, and now it's climate catastrophe. See how they're moving the goalposts. When that one narrative doesn't work, they just move a little more, then move a little more, move a little more. This is why these far leftist Democrats are so good at fooling the people that are going to vote for them. Yes, we must do this because it's climate catastrophe now. Oh, so he answers. The answer is yes, Sanders said, arguing that population control in the form of abortion and birth control specifically is something he very, very strongly supports. Which is interesting, okay? So it starts with everything a Democrat proposes. It starts at abortion and birth control to help address the climate catastrophe. But when that doesn't work, you got to kind of go after who's next. See, the infirmed, the elderly, the mentally challenged, if you will. And then if that doesn't work, you start murdering your opponents, essentially. Your political opponents. That's how it works for these Democrats, because Democrats are closer to socialists and Democrats and authoritarians than anything. He continues, the answer has everything to do with the fact that women in the United States of America, by the way, have a right to control their own bodies and make reproductive decisions, Sanders said. Really? You can't do that anywhere else in the world? Yes, there are some countries you can't. That's kind of a... He needed to fix that sentence to make it sound less, stupid. And the Mexico City Agreement, which denies American aid to those organizations around the world that allow women to have abortions or even get involved in birth control is totally absurd, he continued. So I think especially in poor countries around the world, where women do not necessarily want to have large numbers of babies and where they can have the opportunity to birth control, to control the number of kids they have is something I very, very strongly support, he added. Really there, Bernie. How are you going to force that on other countries? Oh, that's right. You give the UN more control so the United States doesn't have their hands dirty on the subject. That's how you do it. You have a global body forcing its will on other populations in other countries, because that makes sense. And it's worked so well in the past. You see, these freaking Democrats, man, they're ghouls. They're nothing but ghouls. And to say anything else other than they're not ghouls, they're ghouls. They're terrible people. They're people that you wouldn't want to sit down with Thanksgiving with. You just don't. Why? This is how they believe. Now, I know you're going to say, well, Lazo, not all Democrats believe this. Well, you Democrats out there, you're going to vote for one of these knuckleheads. So you need to think about this for a second. You either vote for one of these idiots, or vote for someone you probably don't want to vote for, which is Trump, or don't vote. Well, I know what you're going to do. You're going to vote for one of these idiots. Plain and simple. So 2020 is going to be a hell of a fucking election cycle. Laszlo out.